How's it going, you studs? Welcome to the video. Glad you're all here, and I'm hoping that you're doing well. And in today's video is going to be a little controversial, to say the least, for some people. For other people, it'll seem like nothing but facts and rather stating the obvious here. But listen, man, this whole situation going on, especially in Canada, that's where I live. I'm Canadian, and Black Lives Matter is up here as well. And I'm going to give you some posts from Facebook and Twitter of the people running Black Lives Matter in Canada, and how pretty much they just hate white people. Same thing in America. Let's keep it real. It's the same organization. But Black Lives Matter is run by people that want to destroy Western civilizations and democracy. They hate white people and capitalism and have tricked the common person and organizations, and whether the media is playing a role on purpose or they're ignorant to the facts that are going on or just being pressured by just the overall consensus that this is like, you got to do this, otherwise you're a bad person. You got to support Black Lives Matter. You got to defund the police unless you're otherwise you're a bad person, or being pushed with more nefarious conspiratorial elements. But the average person is being tricked into backing them, and corporations as well, pretty much because I think people don't want to be canceled and want to, lose out on zillions of dollars and hurt their business. But they're all being tricked and thinking it's some kind of altruistic organization to help further black people for equality. And it's also at the same time willingly being pushed by Democrats and other organizations working with the Democrats in America, at least, and I imagine in other parts of the world too, to cause chaos for in America for sure, to make Trump look bad and try to push that as a way to, try to win an election, in my opinion. And I'm not sitting here saying, just want to make it clear, there's a lot of really great black people in the world, a lot of really good things going on. There's obviously some instances in the world where things are not fair all the way around. Speaking for Canada, though, it's a complete and utter farce, considering that you think that there's systemic racism in Canada towards black people. There's no facts. There's nothing you could say up here. Canada's a multicultural melting pot country that is one of the most equal countries in the world, with the least amount of racism you're going to find almost anywhere. And to say that there's systemic racism in Canada for black people is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. In America, in certain aspects, you might have an argument as far as crime goes and how people are sent to jail. But then there's also stats that could prove that otherwise. I don't want to get into that, to be honest, but there also are a lot of stats, like I said, pointing towards that black people are responsible for their own problems that they have in America, and they are the leading cause of their struggles that they are experiencing. They pretty much, long as it's short, they're the reasons why they have problems. It's not the white man trying to bring them down. And like I said, this is going to be controversial, man. This video is going to be controversial. Like I said, there's a lot of really great black people out there, a lot of good people doing a lot of good work. And I judge everybody that I meet not because of the color of skin, but the content of their character. So I give everyone a fair shake. And if you're a dickhead, doesn't matter what color you are, you're a dickhead. And I'm not going to be nice to somebody because of their color, or I'm not going to be mean to somebody because of their color. But to focus more on the topic at the beginning of this video here, Black Lives Matter, it's a total farce. It's a total joke. And another thing too is people, no one's saying anything because I guess people have their own agendas. Like I said, a lot of people in the media and in Hollywood and people who run corporations are really left leaning, a lot of them. So, and they don't want to lose their money, but they also want Donald Trump to lose. That's the main push where Black Lives Matter started, and is where it is. It's really the main focus. Even though, like I said, it's in Canada, which I'm going to get to here. I'm going to show you some of the tweets and comments by the founder of Black Lives Matter in Canada, pretty much saying that white people are crap, trash, did a Nick Cannon type move, and that's the person in charge of this. So if you think it's about Black Lives Matter is about black equality, no, it's about hating white people, and they're Marxists for the most part, and they want to destroy what we have here. But anyways, I digress a little bit there. I got a little ahead of myself. I wanted to talk about another aspect, and how, like I said, people aren't speaking up about certain aspects and certain things that are occurring through Black Lives Matter, and that would be tearing down statues and just what people consider symbols of hate and racism, and tearing down like I said, statues of historic figures, and citing that because they once embarked and were once involved in slave trading and had slaves, which makes no sense in any way whatsoever. Let me just keep this clear. Slavery has been an accepted practice worldwide in the past and wasn't illegal. It's what everyone did. Like now, people obviously view it as wrong, and it's wrong. You can't have slaves, even though, there's zillions of slaves throughout the world. They just don't happen to be in white countries. Let's just keep it real. White countries, people who are white people, Western democracies, have the least amount of slaves and the most fair and equitable countries in this world. It's all the other countries with other people who aren't Western democracies, consisting of Caucasians and Anglo-Saxons, like India and China and those kind of places. And Africa itself to this day has slaves, and South America. But, Canada, America, England, Sweden, Finland, those kind of countries don't have slaves, and it's illegal. But other countries have open slave trading still going on, and people are still being treated and still, slaves according to every single national, organization that tries, Amnesty International, and et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, so these people are trying to tear down statues that are, because the people who are being erected there, the statues themselves, are people who may or may not have had slaves in the past and were, slave traders. And as I was saying before I went off there, back then, everybody in every country a long time ago accepted slavery. Like, it was the thing. Everyone had slaves. In Africa, to this day, they still have slaves. Back then, they had slaves. The Arabs had the slave trade. Those are the ones who sold the slaves to the Americans. The Americans didn't go over to Africa, jump off the boat, run around, and start tying people up and throwing them back on boats. They had like an actual business going over there. They went over there, they contacted slave traders, and, Arabs and also other black people sold them slaves to take back to America. And, this has been going on through the history of time, from Egypt to from any country, the Aztec Indians. I mean, geez, let's just keeping it real here. I mean, they've had slaves all the way going back to, Roman statues, the Greek times. So everyone had slaves. So what the problem, though, we see here is that everybody is tearing everything down when that was an accepted practice, and negating all the good that these people have done, and extinguishing all their contributions to humanity because they were involved in something that was normalized back then. So under this thinking, pretty much what we should do then is we should cancel Islam then too, because the Prophet Muhammad had slaves. So we're going to have to do that, get rid of that guy. We're also going to tear down all the Roman statues, the Great Pyramids, anything to do with Egyptians in the past, because they had slaves. So we got to get rid of all the Egyptian gods, all the pharaohs, the Sphinx. We're going to tear that down, destroy it. We should send a bunch of Black Lives Matter people over there with pink paint all the pyramids and put on there and defund the police on that. We're going to go all the way to Spain and all the castles, and then France as well. And we have to go into into Mexico and South America, and all the Mayan ruins and all the Aztec ruins and all those ones where they chopped people's heads off and threw them down the stairs for sacrificing, which is a fact. We got to go there, and we got to destroy all those and destroy everything with that culture. We got to go to the Louvre. And a lot of those paintings in there were probably done by people who had slaves back in the 1600s. Maybe Rembrandt, Leonardo da Vinci probably had slaves. So we got to destroy all his work. And we go to the Vatican as well and just destroy that, because that's for sure, right? Forget about all the good that's been done with Christianity, which is, oh my God, went down that lane. We're going to have a bunch of anti people that think Jesus is a bad person now in this video. And then we're going to, have to tear all those down. And then all the English castles and all the, Spanish conquistador and all the history of mankind, we're going to go back and absolutely destroy it all. Every single one of it, because they all did bad. Genghis Khan, we're going to go there. Genghis Khan, that guy had like 18 wives and slaves and concubines. Destroy that part of history. You're going to go there. All the Tibetan things that had to do with, it's all gone. The whole history of mankind is gone, because at some point in that time, it was accepted behavior to behave that way. But all the greatness and all the good that's come out of that, probably Mozart probably had some slaves. I don't know. He was a white guy. Beethoven, that dude was slaves. Probably had slaves. He's white. Yeah, probably have to, no more. We can't listen to any more classical music. So it's just the ridiculousness that's going on right now is just on another level of just stupidity. It's crazy, and people just stand by and let it roll. Oh, damn, I didn't even get to go to the one part. Jesus, man, we're 10 minutes in this video. The most important thing I wanted to talk about, my God, I totally forgot. Sorry, scratch that from the record, Your Honor, is these quotes from the actual founder of Black Lives Matter in Canada before we go. I totally forgot to get into that. I went on some other random tangents. Here it is right here. So her name is Yusra Kogali, and this is a tweet that she deleted, but this was back, back in 2016, before she started Black Lives Matter. Please, Allah, give me strength to not cuss, kill these men and white folks out here today. Please, please, please. Cool. And then here's the Facebook post of hers that she posted and took down as well. Whiteness is not humanness. In fact, white skin is subhuman. All phenotypes exist within the black family, and white people are a genetic defect of blackness. White people have a higher concentration of enzyme inhibitors that suppress melanin production. We got our Nick Cannon on Nick Cannon. I wonder what book these people are reading. They are genetically deficient because melanin is present in the inception of life. Melanin is directly linked to fertility and the human reproductive system. Melanin is directly linked to strong bones. Bill Nye the Science Guy, I just watched his TikTok. He just told me that actually melanin is, depending upon where you live, in accordance with the equator and how much sun you get, is dependent upon how much melanin you have in your skin, because it's depending upon how much vitamin D you need and the lighter your skin is. Anyways, Bill Nye Science Guy is a real scientist. Prove me wrong. You guys are a freaking shill. Anyways, she just goes on here and on, basically just white people are recessive genetic defects. Therefore, right here at the bottom, genetic defects, this is factual. White people need white supremacism. Yeah, just basically an our Nick Cannon out here talking and just shitting on white people. And she's the one in charge of Black Lives Matter in Canada. And that's the person that you think is out here, fighting a good fight, and you should be on her team, and she hates you. She hates white people. Most black people in Black Lives Matter hate white people. Just going to keep it real. Anyways, all right, I think that's covering everything and more than enough. Wow, this video is on another level, and I hope you enjoyed it. I made thoughts. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And last but not most importantly, stay black. Question authority.
Don't let the honky cracker reptilian shapeshifter bring you down.